It's a beautiful day, man. I don't know about you all. I'm in a good mood. I'm in a good hornified mood here today on the Nightly Fix. Hey, Osita, man, you gotta chill out, man.
Why?
Getting away
Why?
from you.
For what reason, dude?
He's ripping that blues harmonica.
Yeah, you didn't like my harmonica solo? I'm over here sweating. Look at me, I'm sweating.
I know it,
God.
Mike Tomlin. You had to, Mike Tomlin is in the building, has entered again. What I'm saying
Mike,
is,
I have an excuse, dog. I got a good excuse. I was feeling the music, man.
I'm just saying, man, that listen, we have been live now a minute 59, and most of that was the intro part. You got yourself winded in that part of it. Like
my cardio could be a little bit better. I'm not.
You had to go to the water. Like
I'm also wearing this hot ass looking this thing. You know what I mean? Like it's warm. It's warm.
You can clearly take it off, but this is your nightly outfit.
That's my nightly outfit. That's my nightly fix fit. You know what I mean?
Oh my, nightly fix fit. That is
I've robe too. I don't wear it very often, but it's pretty.
Hey, you should wear it whenever we do the show, dog.
Hold on. I know you have a robe. I've worn it. I don't know if it's
my robe. Oh yeah, when you broke into my apartment.
What the fuck? Story time.
When him and Vern broke into my apartment for my birthday while I was at
listen, I'm sure
a live radio show at my house.
I'm sure we
did a live radio show at your house?
Yes.
I'm sure
on my birthday.
I am sure that's how we celebrated
Yes. Come on.
We celebrated your birthday that way.
Oh my god, dude. That's so sick.
Yeah, I'm sure there are some Show and Vern fans that are still alive. We only had 15 months, but Lord knows we did everything we could in that 15 months, including yes. So if you're on the chat, shout out to you on the chat. If you are an old Show and Vern listener, please let us know in the chat. Like and subscribe too. Please head to our YouTube channel while this guy Mike Tomlin Jr. sweats it out.
Damn, I had little towels here too. I had little napkins and shit.
Just take the robe off. That'll start.
No, man. No. We're not doing
what we do for fashion.
Beauty
but shout out to the Show and Vern family. But no, so we just did all kinds of crazy shit, just to be honest with you. And I had the crazy idea of, hey, it's Serda's birthday. I think it would be funny if we broke into Serda's birthday because Serda has to stay at the station because he's got to
because he's the producer.
He's got to produce. Hey, don't call it a board up now. All right.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
I was an executive producer by that point in my career.
Yeah, he was an executive.
As you should be.
He was an EP. Yeah. And he had to be there, but we ordered some pizza. We showed up at his house. We set up in his house, and we did our 4-hour show from his house. Yep. And at drinks, had his roommate in there with us. Had some other guests come by.
I had a roommate at the time. I lived by myself. I lived in a very shitty 1-bedroom apartment.
Well, I thought
you just had random people.
I'm sorry, an ex-roommate. Snowflake was his ex-roommate. AKA
named Snowflake,
AKA Spencer. He was also a music producer, and his name.
And he was on the alternative radio station here.
Yeah, he was given snow cone. Oh yeah, man. And so I just kind of snooped around his house, and I found a bathrobe, and I wore it during the show, kind of like you're doing right now.
It's the same robe I have now.
Oh, I know it is. I know you ain't getting that.
I wear it like twice a year when I'm like sick or something.
Yeah,
or
good times.
Multiple times a week during the nightly fix.
There you go. Every Sunday through Thursday.
It's nice.
Sunday through Thursday. Like and subscribe to see which my wonderful fashion sense.
Yeah, we did. That was probably one. I thought it was cool and innovative to do a radio show inside of somebody's house and apartment. We had to make sure we could stay on. And listen, during that time, the people thought Serda had no idea. They thought I was just an an asshole, but clearly, Steve. First off, Steve is the only one who knew how to set that shit up to be done at his house.
So we're just peeling back the whole curtain on that.
Oh yeah, I mean it's come on, man, it's 5 years, like 6 years. Yeah, if people thought it was like Serda let us in. Serda, we didn't just. We what do we tell people? I copied a key.
Yeah, that you stole my key, like at the radio station or something, because I used to leave them sitting around.
Yeah. Like
I think the asshole move here, though, is the fact that you had a birthday party without the birthday boy at the birthday boy's house.
They also just like drank the beers that were in my fridge.
No, we did do that. But we brought pizza and we left you some. We left you
leftover
some
pizza for his birthday.
I believe Serda, all Serda had in his fridge was beer and milk, and maybe some eggs.
Sounds about right for a 20-something-year-old.
Yeah, it was good times. Yeah.
I do think I was like bought beers after, and like we did do something for my birthday after all of that.
We probably went to our spot, the Peanut. Yeah,
Peanut Mission.
Peanut Mission. That was our spot, place we went and did everything, including when they disbanded our show and fired me. We met up at the Peanut.
We did.
That was that time period when my mom told me not to trust either one of them.
Dang.
Oh yeah. Oh, they fired the black guy. They fired. There's no way to tell because
we had anything to do with it.
Because I was the only one who got fired. Like they remained on the show. Now Vern is as bitter as it gets right now. But anyway, they're the ones who remained on the show. Yeah. My mom said they knew. They had to know. I said, I don't think they knew. They just admit, hey, they did it as some. Well, here, let's pull it all the way back. They did it as some cold ass shit. Shout out to Steve Spector, man. We got a good relationship now. I mean, I had some few feelings for him when I got fired. But man, hey, they let me work the whole shift, baby.
Oh, damn.
Oh yeah, baby. Hey, it was
It was a Thursday.
It was a Thursday. Yeah, then Vern had to do the show by himself on Friday the next day.
I did too. We were both a wreck.
I believe Vern's sign off and his final day as a host at 610 Sports Radio. And by the way, mostly by his refusal. But he said, "This is stupid." Signed off. But hey, man, I come out of the studio, and I mean it was so smooth. Hey, come here real quick. And then they must have ran you two off to an undisclosed area. I don't know how far it is, but I mean right then and there, bam. Hey man, today's gonna be the last day of show and Vern. I said, damn, what the hell?
I think we used to go sit in this little like conference room after the show and like try to like talk about things real quick before we headed out.
No, we did a post game. We did post game confessions.
Yeah.
We did some things.
But I think like right when we walked out of the studio, they just like cornered Ron and we're like, "Hey Ron, we need you to come talk to us for a minute." And so we like went back there and we were sitting back there and we were like, "What was
waiting
that?"
on Ron.
Yeah.
Waiting on him to pull up. Like, what
was that about? And then they came in, told us. We were both angry and upset. Ron's still there, waiting for us to get out so we can all leave together and freak out.
Well, I had that lawyer.
Is following Ron around the building because she needs to make sure that he exits the building.
Hey, you know I'm hot, dog. I come in and she rolls out and she's just she's just on my hip pocket. And I'm getting all my little shit to leave, and she's just following, and she's asking me questions. And I think now her tactic is just trying to keep you calm, trying to talk you out, and as Serda said, making sure that this fool leaves the building. First off, for starters, if I wanted to act an ass, that lady wasn't gonna stop me. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Right,
Facts.
like she was a lovely lady, middle-aged lady, but she was not going to stop me. At one point, as I'm gathering my stuff, I said, "Ma'am, couldn't you just walk away?" This is one of the toughest days of my life currently happening. Could you please just leave so I can get out of here with some dignity? I think I said that to her. She was on my hip. I said, damn, can I get out of here with some dignity, please? And then she started watching me from afar. Osita. She was about 20 feet away just watching me to the door.
She did suck. She got let go eventually too. So
I never. That was the first day I saw her. in my
never
five,
seen her before until that day.
My 5 years there is my first day I ever saw her. And last,
She just popped up like a bad luck genie. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was. But no, man, we had some good time. By the way, I'm excited. Saw some greatness tonight. You see your boy Steph Curry, my man, 52 tonight, 52 points, 10 rebounds. He had 12 threes, 12 of 20 from three. As his ass went off. The Rockets had 10 threes as a team last night. He went 12 of 20 from three, and I'll tell you, man, that dude right there, he's something else, man.
I got a question. What was with the little bit of rocket shade right there? What was that?
It was the thought.
What was the necessity? Wow.
Well, it was. I'm sure there are a lot of teams that didn't have 12, but I just remembered.
Call one of them out. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't have them. I said I'm sure there are, but I just thought to myself, I remember the Rockets were 10 for 30 something last night, and he hit 12 himself. That dude is nuts, man. Now I think he has ruined basketball a little bit, but I think he is insane because now kids are trying to do what he does.
Everybody's just jacking up threes.
Oh, and not just threes, like the threes he takes.
Yeah.
Hey, look, fellas, I'm knee deep in the AAU circuit right now with my son. That's a whole nother story. As my son was playing in, he's 11 years old, 11U, and they had to forfeit the game, the team they were playing, because they slid a damn 8th grader out there on Sunday. Yes, an 8th grader. I'm going to send you all a photo of how big this kid was. There's a photo.
So everybody just like, wait, hang on.
The whole time,
my man, is he 5'9"? Like, what's going on over here?
The whole time. Oh, he's taller than that. The whole time. But it's not even just his height, because he was an 8th grader. But like they were playing in a tournament up. They were playing against 6th graders. And there was a kid in a previous game that I think that kid's probably 5'11" or 6 foot.
Jesus.
But you can look in his face and his body and tell like that kid's 12.
Yeah,
right.
Got
like
whiskers growing already and shit. Like what?
No, that kid didn't. That kid looked like an 11 or 12-year-old. This motherfucker over here that we played, that my son went knee to knee with, that's how it ended. My son went knee to knee and went down like a pile of bricks because this guy's fucking going to high school in 3 months playing against 5th grade. And by the way, they were hanging in there. And also they had they had 2 other jokers, big jokers, looked like they were 7th graders. Like just setting picks, big ass kids. But they were hanging in there. But anytime that dude wanted to go LeBron, he just went LeBron. Like he would, anytime he wanted to just take the ball coast to coast and nobody could get in his way. Like they were trying to wall him up to make him shoot because he couldn't shoot to save his life. But it was just like, and then he's down there, he can out jump and he's taller than everybody. So he's just down there playing volleyball with himself. Just as every ball is going up, trying to get the rebound and tip them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something else. But anyway, the AAU circuit, man, you see so many kids out there trying to Steph Curry this thing. Trying to Steph Curry this thing. And it is, the amount of threes, and I'm just like, hell, my son's one of them. The amount of threes, I just sent the photo to you. Look at the size of this son of a bitch out here that they rolled out here to play with us. And I'm sitting there saying, this guy's, you see him sitting at the free throw line. Look how big that kid is.
Hey, yo.
That kid's got
bigger
he's
calves than
got
I do, bro.
well-defined muscles. Like,
What did he say? What did he say on me, myself, and I read? That kid's dick's bigger than half the kids in the parents in the audience.
Hey, yo, he looks like a high schooler, bro.
yeah.
He's headed there in 3 months.
And then the little kid next to him, you should see the juxtaposition, dude. Just like,
and he's one of our
and that little kid on the side of
but he's one of our bigger players. Like he's one of our bigger players. Like, and they just and so when my son and him and my son, I give him all the credit. My boy got some heart now. My son said, "I'll guard him." He told the coaches, "I'll guard him." And so he's trying, man. He's trying to face guard him. He's trying to do everything he can. And then he's picking him up full court. And then one of them other big behemoths set a pick on him. And they went knee to knee. And my son went down like a pile of bricks screaming for a second. Because that knee to knee at first hurts like hell.
ACL or something.
He thought he did, but it was knee to knee. That knee to knee first, at first that hurts. It's like when you roll your ankle for the first time, you are sure you broke it. Sure you broke it. But we finally get him up. And I think we were down by 5 with like 3.5 to go. And next thing you know, they called the game. And I was like, damn, they called the game because he got hurt. It was like, no, man, they've been disqualified. They found out that man over there with that mustache was in the 8th grade.
I was going to say, bro, it's like, hey, did he forget to shave before he came through or what, dog? Like,
it was wild, man. That coach over there ought to be ashamed of his damn self. I mean, ought to be ashamed of himself, boy.
Hey, little man actually did have some whiskers, though. I'm like zoomed in.
He ain't have no damn whiskers.
Hey, zoom in.
He might have had. He might have.
Tell me there's no whiskers on that.
It was insane. Like you said, sir, that we were all like, wait a minute, what the hell's going on around here? Like this guy is clearly not able to go. But I'm telling you, boy, it is nothing but pisses me off when I see 10, 11, 12-year-olds dribble down there and pull step back 3-pointers that they are almost turning like a quarterback hoisting to throw it because they're not strong enough to just shoot it. Like they got all the dribble part and the step back part, but none of them can get it there, and they're just throwing them up. And I can see coaches about ready to pull them out. And the person who's did this fault is Steph Curry. Clearly,
you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Won't you dribble your ass into the area that you can get in and that you can make the shot? My son
miss 100% of the shots you don't take, man.
My son does it too. All right, boy, I almost pulled him out the game myself. He shot a one-handed moving to his left, 5 steps behind the second line, the second 3-point line. There's no shot clock. He just went up with it, and I just said, "What the hell?"
Didn't they figure out or something like that, like in the NBA, that like this new tactic of just like jacking up threes leads to a higher winning percentage or something like that? Is there any correlation between those two?
At the NBA level, it's like the analytics say it's more efficient and it's more beneficial to
just to kind of throw up some threes and see if they go.
Settle for intermediate and like mid-range jump shots because you get more points and they're so good at hitting threes. It's like, why wouldn't we just settle for threes instead of shooting 15-foot 2-pointers?
So the Phoenix Suns former Houston coach, Mike D'Antoni, they kind of started this like the math. The Spurs would do it as well with Popovich and stuff. Like Serda was saying, this is what we want to do. We want to shoot threes. We want to get to the free throw line, and we want to shoot layups. Back in the day, it was throw into the post, maybe get a hook, maybe, post up play, mid-range jumpers like Jordan and Kobe with Phil Jackson ran the triangle, which a lot of it was mid-range. No, they said, no, you get one more point for taking a few steps back to shoot. And they found out that corner jump shot is actually shorter,
right? Yeah,
and it's like and it's the same as a 2-point shot. And so a lot of people perfected that. But I mean, it makes sense now. People have gotten annoyed with the game about it, but it makes sense because let me get to the rim, shoot layups or dunks. Let me get to the free throw line. Free throws obviously easier to make than regular shots, and then let me shoot threes.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where the game is, and that's why some people are annoyed with it.
So is the 3-point line like oblong or something? Like why is the corner shorter? I'm just thinking about that right now.
Well, it's just shorter from the arc, like the corner, and it goes out. Like
And
it
it's
goes
not
out.
like it's like if you were to draw it like as a full like oval, it would be an oval. So the center is closer in. Like it's not circle, you know.
Yeah, it's not a yeah, okay, I get what you're saying now.
I mean, that was a legit ass question, wasn't it? I mean,
hey, I'm just thinking.
Like it felt like he's sitting over there, sort of like, how the hell is it shorter? Like,
is it shorter?
Yeah.
Like it's shorter. I've heard that before. I've heard that before. So I'm just like, okay, so but what is it about the 3-point line? Obviously, they didn't make it like a full circle.
You finally said, I'm not about to just sit here and continue to just act like it makes sense to me. Why the hell is this?
There's no such thing as a bad question.
No,
is there such thing as a bad question? Thank you. Okay, damn, dog.
Don't let him put down your curiosity.
No, thank you, Serda. Thank you. You see what I got to deal with here? Like this guy over here is just man all day.
I think there is some bad questions. Like I think there are some bad questions.
I
think Deshaun Watson's asked some of them.
What kind of questions?
I think Justin Tucker, the kicker for the Ravens, who's getting away with this scot-free, I think he's asked some of the questions, some poor questions. I think there are some bad questions. I disagree with that statement. I think there are some bad questions. You know what ain't bad?
What's not bad?
Heat check.
Oh, we get into it early. All right, so I want to start out tonight's heat check with a little bit of I'm going to ask my two statisticians over here to help me out. Paul George from the 76ers. How's he doing? How's he looking?
Shit.
Okay,
that would be how I would describe it.
Exactly.
He's going back and forth. He has stolen money from the Philadelphia 76ers. He got a huge 4-year deal. He's been injured. He was doing his podcast.
Okay.
And then he stopped doing his podcast, and I think now he's doing it again.
Okay, see, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I heard that Paul George stopped the podcast and then decided to get back in the whole podcasting game and whatnot, and he's saying that it's good for his mental health. While I'm a proponent of mental health, healthy mental health at all times. Yes, I am. I go to therapy. Calm down. But he's sitting there saying that podcasting allows him to say things that he would know to people that he would never normally get to say. And while that's cool, I mean, get a therapist, bud. And it kind of brought me to the thought of something I've thought about a couple of times is like, why does everyone feel the need to be a creative? You know what I mean? There's no longer any artist anymore. Everybody wants to be a creative. And like, if you're wondering what the difference is between a creative and an artist, a creative creates content, an artist creates art. And now I feel like everyone's stuck in this weird little bubble of like, even if I do a thing, I have to show the process of what I'm doing or show off the fact that I'm doing it rather than just do it. Now, Paul George, I mean, I'm sure he's talented. You know what I mean? He worked very hard to get where he's at or whatever, but he's in a luckier spot than most people in the world, right? Would you agree? Like being a basketball player, to able to work in the NBA.
Yeah, having a natural following. Are you talking about especially getting to the podcast world? Natural following. Yeah.
Not even the podcast world. I'm just saying, like, he is a basketball player. He got lucky enough to be able to make the thing that he used to play or make his play his job. You know what I mean? And now he wants to, I feel like he is now no longer focusing as much on basketball because he's so focused on podcasting. You know what I mean? I just don't get the necessity to be like, oh yeah, I really, really, really want to get on this podcast thing. Like, bro, I mean, and I'm sure he gets tired of his job just like everybody else does. But I mean, he's got a whole career, you know what I mean, that he could be, really doubling down on and kind of focusing on.
I gotta be honest, I don't think that one's fair.
Why not?
I think he can I think he can do both of those things. I don't think that his podcast is the thing that's hurting his playing career.
Do you think it's helping?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it helps. I don't think it hurts though. I think it's another venture of things. I think it's just like somebody who's in a band that has other interests that does other things, like someone who's a band that might, do a podcast or do something else. Like I think you can do multiple things. I don't think that Paul is doing the podcast and then like it's stopping him from being at practices or it's stopping him from getting his work in. Like I don't think that's the case. I think it's been kind of shown and proven. Hell, there's a lot of players that do it. Draymond does it. Now I think Micah Parsons does it. Now I can see a deal of potentially maybe some of the things you're saying can cause problems in your locker room or can cause issues. I think Micah Parsons run into that a little bit in Dallas. Draymond maybe a little bit, but I don't think it stops them, right? Because I think they're doing other things. I think they're doing other interests. If it like hell, it used to be a guy owned a car wash, or it used to be a guy who did like LeBron James, the greatest athlete of all time. LeBron James has a fucking media company. I mean, he's got 100,000 things he is doing, and it's been that way for a long time. That it doesn't affect it. So I don't think that affects it.
I don't want to say I'm talking about Paul George specifically. Like he was the reason why I thought of this whole creatives versus artists thing. Like my reasoning for not liking the term creatives is because I have like friends that are like amazing tattoo artists, right? Amazing tattoo artists. And because of social media and because of the creative economy that we kind of live in currently, they're forced to now learn how to take immediate badass photos of their work. Or like my friends that cut hair, if they want to I guess advertise themselves, or they're kind of forced to advertise themselves, they're forced to learn how to like use CapCut and do this and do that, and show a video of the person before their haircut, and then you zoom in and then you cut it later on, and when you zoom out it's this person with a fresh haircut. Like what happened to just being good at the trade that you're doing and then just kind of letting that be? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
and I get like, okay, yes, we are in a podcast, and I'm definitely, I'm not talking shit about myself, but a little bit of self-deprecation, doesn't hurt every now and then. Like I just don't understand why people feel the need to document everything. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. No, and I agree with
does
that.
it or not? You said yeah and no. Does it make sense or
Well,
not?
no, the idea of like documenting everything, like, yeah, I think that makes sense. I think the difference with athletes and most people, which most people are just chasing what they already know, which is generally celebrities and athletes and famous people or people who have already made it big or whatever. They're just chasing the idea that like this is how life is supposed to be and this is what it's supposed to be like. You find a way to get successful. So I'm going to document all of my entire life and hope that I like hit it big or whatever. But with that athletes specifically, I think there's plenty of athlete podcasts that are terrible. And then occasionally you hit the big ones that like those people are just like genuinely talented and they're really good at what they do and they take it really seriously and they try to learn like it's a profession for them. It's not just something they do on the side. And so I think that is different, but also kind of what Osita is saying, like and this is also like kind of probably going to sound weird to people. And there's probably lots of people who do what we do who would totally disagree with my thoughts on this. But I absolutely fucking hate the term content and like content creators. Like I fucking hate it. And maybe it's because I came from like a radio background where I'm like, no, we're putting on a show. Like when we're doing things like we're at times like it's exaggerated versions of ourselves, but it's also like our personalities, but like also like in everyday life, I'm generally different than I am when I turn on the microphone and when I go do this. And part of that is from years and years of me doing radio. But I hate the term content because there's so much just garbage that's like, and to the point where it's even been a detriment in my own career, probably because it's so much of the stuff now is like low hanging fruit. And like athlete podcasts are generally very well produced. They generally have lots of money, a team of people who are working on things, and they have tons of resources to promote them and advertise them and do all of that stuff. And so it's just extra income for them. So like I totally get all of that, like diversifying the portfolio and doing whatever. But I hate the term content because so much of content is just like low hanging fruit, trying to get as many eyeballs on something as easily as possible, trying to get as much traction as possible, to the point where now you don't even know what you can believe when you get on the fucking internet. Now we're getting into the AI age, and you don't even know if videos are real anymore. Like, I hate the term content because I think there's no creativity in content.
Yeah, but first off, like
Sir, I gotta say, I like what you said there. That was awesome.
No, it is not but it is content. It's just different content. It's content that you like versus content that you don't. Like we've had these conversations years and years in parking lots, in over the phone, in car rides, sort of. It is content. It's just different content. It's some content that we, let's just be quite honest, respect, and then there's content that we don't. Like, the why of it is
why people probably think a lot of that is ridiculous, but that's how I think about it.
I mean, I know it's nice. That was cool, like, of your artsy part to call it another name of we're putting on a show, but we're putting on a show by the use of our content. Like we're using our content, and we just happen to believe our content is different and better than some of the ones that we do, right? Like, if somebody, let's take a radio show. If somebody is doing a radio show and doing a segment where it is music played in the background and they're reading a question or they're saying a statement and everybody does, the radio 101. Hell, I just came up with one for my show that was whatever. But if they're doing that as opposed to, like, that's a style of content, or of, hey, man, I want to throw a question out there and just see how people kind of react to it after I give my thought. And let's just have a conversation about it. I think that's another way of content.
But
there's still content.
It also like goes back to, like, and I look at everything from like a movie standpoint because I love movies so much. And it's like kind of like how I stumbled into this in a way. But it's like this idea in Hollywood right now amongst major studios is like IP driven content. John Wick movies. Like, John Wick died in the last one. Sorry if I spoiled that for everyone. But they just announced today that they're making another John Wick movie.
John Wick 5, baby.
John Wick.
And I love the John Wick
dead.
movies. Like, I don't even care about it. But
they are pretty sick, though. I'm not gonna lie.
But like Fast and the Furious and Marvel and like all these things that I do enjoy and that I'll go consume, like, it's just all driven to this. Oh, we only want to make things that we already know are successful, as opposed to, and how many times in our careers, Ron, did somebody say, we're not reinventing the wheel here. Like, we just do what people like. And we were like, well, no, like, that's not how innovation starts. Like, we want to dick around. We want to try something different because that's what we have fun doing.
Yeah. But the overall, the why, Osita, from your beginning point is it's money. The why is we're jumping into this because, hey, my name is Paul George, and I don't have to be as creative as the Nightly Fix, which is on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. But I don't have to. I don't have to be as creative because I have a foot in the door, because I have an audience, I have an interest thing, and I have a network where I can probably get, if I really, 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 really wanted to, Russell Westbrook on my show or something like that. I have that, like, and they can make money from it. The Kelseys are making as much money from their podcast, if not more than when they played. That's the why. And I mean, like, do I think technically and everything they do a better show than we do? No. But they have interest. And now, as much as hard as Serda works with the production wise, he's doing it. They have more resources, as Serda said, well produced and things like that. But it's the cash, man. That's the why. That's the why. But now, to me, it's about now. Just like in music, in music, there are people who are making their music specifically to sell. They're making their music specifically for a certain audience to move the most numbers they can make. And then there's other people that are just like, hey, man, I want to make good fucking music that I believe in, that I want to do. And if it moves, it moves. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But hell, it's the same thing we're doing. We're doing it too.
But I'm saying that on the smaller end of that, like you're saying, there are people who make something for the sake of making art, right? I still see those same people creating content out of the art that they make. Although the content might not be doing crazy numbers, the art's great. Don't get it twisted. Like what they're doing is thoughtful, and it's thought provoking, and it's amazing work. But because of the way that everything is pushed at people now, they're also forced to do this extra step to try and get seen. Do you get what I'm saying?
But
like rather than just create the shit to create the stuff and like put the stuff out there, they're just like, man, now I got to do all this other extra shit, jump through all these extra hoops and to try and get noticed. You know what I mean? And it's just, that's the part that I don't really like. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I'd much rather just like hear of a band and listen to their shit rather than have to experience every band on Instagram try to do a 3 to 6 month rollout, dude.
Yeah.
Like, not everyone needs to be doing this marketing.
But
Osita,
but clearly, like, they are looking for more than just making art. They're looking for people to hear their art or see their art. Right? Like, if you just wanted to just sit back and make your art and you don't give a damn, you'll just make your art. But if you want to either make money off of making your art, if you want more people to hear or see your art, then you're going to do the things necessary to make that happen. And that's part of it.
It just feels, sorry, go.
No, I was going to say, it's also like like commercial success versus like individual like fulfillment success. Like, this has like been a debate for a long time in general. And like, I just want to make it clear, like, I'm totally like shitting on the content and like podcast industry. I'm just saying, like, I don't love doing it that way. I don't love looking at it from that perspective. Like,
and you don't have to.
I want to try to find different ways to discuss it and talk about it and have conversations about it. But like, the movie industry, like, it was recently said that like studios are literally like, when you're trying to cast a movie star or whatever in a new movie, they're like, well, how many Instagram followers do they have? And I think that sucks, because like, what the hell does that have to do?
Dude, it's the same thing in music now. Like I've literally, so I work at a radio station. I've met a lot of what are they called? I guess they work for their label reps, right? And so I was talking to one of them, and he was just like, yeah, now labels don't really look at people unless they have a certain amount of followers. But the catch-22 is, if you have a certain amount of followers already, do you necessarily need the label? So like, everyone's caught up in this rat race of trying to do this thing to get to this place, but it doesn't necessarily work for everybody. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just feels programmatic and algorithmic at the end of the day. Like, it's because I see, like, and for me, it's always going to be about music. That's where usually my heart comes from and stuff. I see the same bands use the same marketing rollout strategies as these like YouTube, Instagram gurus that they post about all the time. And they'll be like, hey, create a different bit of content every single day so that you can post something every single day and you can do this every single day. And it's just like, damn, dog, I've missed just like hearing about a band through word of mouth or just catching a band live or like following a zine or some shit like that and hearing them that way. I'm tired of just like it constantly being blasted at me the same exact programmatic algorithmic way, dude. I'm just like,
No,
Yeah.
I think like I hate it too. And I've talked about this for a long time, but like at the same time, like it's hypocritical of all of us to have a problem with all of this stuff
because we are doing
this is literally what we're doing. And I understand that. And that's, again, it's not me trying to look down on like absolutely everything. Like I understand that. I think there's great people out there who are doing smart, creative things, who are trying to find different ways to do things, who are trying to do the exact same things. But for every smart, creative person out there who was trying to carve their own path in this way and try to find a way to stick out amidst the entire sea of all the garbage, there's thousands and thousands of other people that are just retreading over and over and over again.
Yeah. You can keep doing that, or you can be Hollywood Anderson, still playing your guitar on a train.
True. But let's reinvent the wheel here, guys. I want to reinvent the wheel. Fuck the wheel.
No, there is no rules. The fuck the wheel. And that's what we're trying to do here on the Nightly Fix. I did want to get to this weekend. Something from this weekend is go ahead and shake your shoulders. Why don't you? I'm riding around dragging my kid, or my kid's dragging me around for AAU tournaments. All right, we had a game that I drive 45 minutes away that we had to be there at 8:30. 1 o'clock my other kid had a baseball game at 11 o'clock in between it that I had to get to. So I'm driving all around. And the big story in baseball is these torpedo bats, these new bats that everybody's started to use, and the Yankees started going crazy. And the Reds, De La Cruz, one of the best young players, he used it for the first time yesterday and had 7 RBIs and had 3 hits and a home run. Like this has been the talk of the thing. And the Yankees really made it big because they hit like 15 home runs in 3 games against the Brewers. But the person who hit the most home runs was Aaron Judge. Please tell me, you two, that's a baseball player that you two know, correct? Aaron Judge?
I'm aware of the name.
Okay, all right.
Yes, yeah. I know who Aaron Judge is.
Listen, hey, shut up. First off, don't do that. You remember when Ronald, my son Trey, was, I don't know, roughly 1 or 2, and he outdueled you on Royals players?
That's not that hard though. I don't have that many Royals. I have
He was
I have
too.
Bobby Witt Jr. and I have like Vinny Pasquantino.
This
That's
is
like
when
all I got.
it was at our job, and they were going to the World Series,
That's
and the
not
2-year-old legit had more players. So don't just.
I was running Royals broadcast, so I actually knew some of the players.
I'm just saying, don't make it a crazy thing for me to just make sure you knew who Aaron Judge was when the 2-year-old fought you down at your own job. Now, he himself hit 4 home runs in the series. He didn't use a torpedo bat. He used a regular bat. And he's been the best power hitter in the sport for the last several years. He had a 60 home run season a couple of years ago. He won the MVP, got close to 60 again yet last year. But I'm watching it, and he had an amazing game. I get in the car, and they're doing I'm listening to the radio, whatever they're doing, the update. And here's the update. The Yankees are all over the Brewers, and Aaron Judge is having a crazy day. It's the 4th inning, and he's already hit 3 home runs in his 3 at-bats. 3 straight home runs in his 3 at-bats to start the game. And then I moved to a space where he made LeBron James look like an absolute prophet.
I want to see how you're going to tie this in. I want to see that. How's this going?
So one of
You've been teasing this topic for days, and
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Well,
I was like, is there something that we can look up? You were just
I had no idea what to put on the graphic.
I got it in my head.
Again, the audience has not been teased because this is the first they've known about it. So one of the things that LeBron has talked about, and some other NBA players, Channing Frye talked about it. LeBron, when he said it got the most news, is like the way the sport is covered now is so different than it was before. It's not a celebration of greatness or an appreciation of greatness at times. It is more of comparisons or, yeah, but he didn't do this. Yeah, but he didn't do that. And it's such a different thing. And it is annoying to today's athlete. And it is something that today's athlete, and I believe in the way LeBron made it put, like, this is why we somehow and sometimes respond the way we do or act the way we do towards the media or maybe even fans. And not to mention social media is really big for this in response reaction. And this is how I tie Aaron Judge to that. So I'm literally listening to the guy on the radio. He is hosting a show that I have hosted, I might add, but whatever. He's hosting a show, national show on there. My man says to his producer, hey, Serda, ask me how much I care about Aaron Judge hitting 3 home runs in his first 3 at-bats. The guy goes, how much do you care? He says it doesn't matter because he never does anything in October. Get me when he hits home runs in October, then it will matter. And I'm sitting here like,
that's sports radio. I mean,
that is sports today. What in the hell?
Do it when it counts. Do it when it counts. Otherwise, it doesn't matter.
Like, my man hit 3 home runs in 3 at-bats. The rest of the day, he hit another double. He hit 3 home runs and a double. This is amazing. This is greatness. My man's first thoughts weren't, man, that's amazing, or wow, the greatness of Aaron Judge. No, shit. Catch me when that motherfucker does it in October. Like, that shit is wild. And like, I can see how LeBron and athletes, stuff like that, like, and we're the right there. Stuff like that is the reason why the regular season in any sports don't matter. Hell, MVPs don't matter. Oh, Lamar Jackson, who is an amazing player. I know, Serda, you know it. You watch him. He is an amazing talent. One of the best football players we have seen in the last. You two, Osita, great. What is talked about? Oh, he's won 2 MVPs. He's finished high in other years. What's talked about, Serda, with Lamar Jackson? What is talked about with Lamar Jackson when he has great regular seasons? What is said? Who cares? He's only got 2 playoff wins. For a long time, they would just say he's 2-5 in the playoffs. To hell with all that. Like, how do we
The
I
playoff
can-
numbers are real for Lamar, though.
see? Serda can't even come out of it to do it. He's still doing it. And the scary thing is Serda is one of the guys that's more closer to an appreciation of greatness. But like, I can see why today's athlete looks at that. Man, I go out there and I hit 3 home runs. The first thing your ass has to say is, do it in October. Lamar Jackson, he's less than, hey, do something, play big in the record.
Are you mad that this person had a bias towards Aaron Judge, or are you mad that he isn't recognizing a great game versus, what could be in the playoffs? Like,
I just think it's completely out of whack.
Because I feel like bias is going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, humans are naturally, we find things that we want to fixate on, and we find things that we like about people or dislike about people. And no matter what, even if you're trying to be unbiased at it, because you're supposed to be, I'm assuming in sports, you're supposed to be this unbiased proponent of stats and what these people are doing, right? You're still going to have, like, maybe he has a personal connection. Maybe he bet on the Yankees a couple of times or something like that. And Aaron Judge fucked him over in the parlay or some shit like that in October. You know what I mean? Maybe he has like some sort of, personal bias.
I didn't get the sense of that. I got the sense of it is what the culture of today's sports and how it's covered is. And that is, it does not matter unless you are the last man standing. And if you aren't the last man standing, you are not shit until you are. And that's how it comes off. It was not like there was a time, like if Michael Jordan, when he scored 64 points in that playoff game against the Celtics, if he did that today and he hadn't won a championship yet, it would be like, who cares? Yeah, all right, you scored 64 points. Go win something. Your team always loses.
You're mad that people are only given recognition to people in Titletown.
Yeah, it just feels like it's like there is no room to just be, to
a
be
good player without having a championship.
To be great, right? There's no room to be like, and you can be great without having a championship. Hell, it's only one person or one team that's going to win it at the end. Like, there is no room for Ken Griffey Jr. anymore. There's no room for great players that didn't win it. They're just looked at as you're nothing. And when you like to get to a point where you see something so amazing of this guy comes up who never gets to see pitches because pitchers and other teams are afraid of him, come up and hit 3 consecutive home runs and 3 straight at bats. And your first thought process isn't celebrate that in some sort of way, but your first thought process is, who cares because you didn't do it in a certain month? That's complete to me. That's out of whack. And I can see why current athletes look at this time like, God, this is stupid.
Okay. 100%. But that's also why athletes are just making their own podcasts now. That's why they're talking about sports. Like, that's because
they're not giving you any access anymore.
Because of things like this. Because it's easy for us, the blowhards, to sit here and say, well, yeah, no, whatever. Lamar Jackson, MVP, is literally statistically one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen. But he's one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen in the regular season. So if he doesn't do it in the postseason, it doesn't matter and it's meaningless. As if Lamar Jackson's numbers aren't like very similar or even better than a player like Peyton Manning's numbers, like prior to him winning a Super Bowl later in his career. But that's what we do, because we're sports media in general now has been that for a long time. It's always been about the accolades, but it's not even so much about that anymore, because like Patrick Mahomes, we would all agree Patrick Mahomes one of the greatest football players who has ever set foot on a football field. Like one of the greatest football players we have ever seen.
Amen.
And now, but now the debate isn't, oh, no, we've literally never seen anybody as good as him anymore. It's, well, he lost to Brady twice. It's, well, he'll never be as good as Tom Brady because that's how we do things. That's what gets the clicks. That's what gets the listens. That's what gets the interaction. And so it's easy to say that. But I think there's tons of like rational thinking fans out there who can see players like this and identify the greatness. And they're not just like, oh, it's all about rings and it's all about what you do in the playoffs. It's all about what you do on the biggest stages. Like it's not all measured by that by all fans. It's just that we happen to be in an era where the people with the platforms, it's really easy to generate traction and interaction by doing that. And so they do those things because Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback we've ever seen. Like, I don't even think it's all that debatable. Like, I don't know if he's going to win as many rings as Tom Brady.
That's a
Mahomes is the best quarterback I've ever seen play football.
But he has rings, though. He has rings. Is there a quarterback that's as good as Patrick Mahomes, that's as good as Tom Brady, number-wise, stats-wise, in the regular season that has no rings?
I think Lamar fits into that. I think Josh Allen probably fits into that. There are guys in their era, like Phillip Rivers. Numbers are
Phillip Rivers had really good numbers,
like crazy numbers. That now I don't think that. Now I don't think
me, and this is as a casual fan, you lost me at Josh Allen, bud. You know what I mean? I feel like championships do matter, man. You want to be the best. You want to be the best. If you want to be considered the best, you need to, have.
I'm not saying that
kind of dub, dude.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that championships aren't a separator. What today, and I think kind of what that announcer was doing with Aaron Judge is, it's not just that championships are the indicator that separates Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. It is Patrick Mahomes has three rings. Right now, Josh Allen and Lamar don't. They aren't good enough. It's not just that they aren't on the level as them. It is they are just absolutely damn near trashed the entire way until they don't, because they don't have a ring. Like Charles Barkley is made fun of repeatedly because he hasn't had a ring.
No ring.
And
MVP once, no ring. Yeah.
And he is one of the greatest, most unique players we've ever seen. That's to me the difference is but that didn't happen while Charles was playing. Charles wasn't made fun of because he hadn't won a championship at the time. It just became, as years went on, and then that became everything that it was about, was winning. And then at that point, Karl Malone, the pedophile, and it became at that point, check his record, 13-year-old.
I know, I've heard.
But Charles Barkley and John Stockton and Patrick Ewing, it became those guys. Those guys weren't like it's almost like those guys aren't great anymore because they didn't win it. Right? I think there is a separator. I think there's a separator between Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez, because Derek Jeter was a guy, yes, he was integral in the clutch and won more championships, and his teams were a part of 4 or 5 championships, and he was only one. But I don't think it means that Alex Rodriguez is all of a sudden, don't bring him in. We're gonna have Kenny Smith and Shaq have a no rings club that Kenny can get in because he was on Hakeem Olajuwon's team and Charles can't, who's one of the greatest players of all time, or Robert Ory.
Y'all ain't been to Titletown?
But like Eli Manning's got 2 rings, and now there's a debate about whether or not Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer. Eli Manning's career statistics are simply not Hall of Fame worthy, not in virtually any of the modern era of the NFL. Eli Manning would not sniff the Hall of Fame or have any consideration if it wasn't for the ring.
And there are people who would put him. Now, I think last year when Josh won the MVP, I think maybe that changes. But there were people who would have been crazy enough to say because he's got the 2 championships and he beat Brady twice in the Super Bowl, ignoring that great defense that really helped him. But he beat Brady. That would have had him over Josh Allen because he won those 2 games. And that is preposterous. That is stupid. He is not even anywhere near to that level.
Where do you think people are bringing this whole pedestal of putting the championship on such a high pedestal rather than the actual stats? Where do you think that's coming from?
I just think
is it a journalism thing? Is it?
I think the media. I think the media.
Pushes it bad.
I think the media and fans have pushed. I think and I'm saying it. I have been guilty of it.
You don't think that LeBron's before he ever got a championship, right? He was a great player before he ever got a championship. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Multiple MVPs. Yes.
His move to what was it? The Heat that first year?
Yes.
His move to the Heat specifically to try and go get those rings. Was that a sports media journalism forced move, or was that him wanting to be a champion move?
I think I'll be honest with you. I think it's a little bit of everything. And
so, I think it's on them as well.
And I think this plays, but I think this plays with Durant too. And this is why I think they get frustrated too, is I think they wanted to win and be champions. But I think there is a time where things shifted from, I think, outside of the Jordan era. And I think it's all probably started with Jordan once he won those championships. But outside of the Jordan era, it was you better win a championship or you will not be given the credit as your career that your career says. No matter what you do, you better win a championship. And I think a lot of that is pushed from fans. A lot of that is pushed even more from media that put that pressure on it. So then the media would then get mad at Kevin Durant because Kevin Durant left Oklahoma City and was a free agent and went to Golden State and won 2 championships. Yeah. That now we have people in the media legit who don't count them as championships, even though he was the MVP, right? But but we as fans and media have turned up the heat on the pressure of you ain't shit unless you win a championship. And then even worse in LeBron's case and now Mahomes' case, oh, you've won 3. Oh, you've only won 4. Oh, but you, LeBron, you lost 6 times in the final, so you ain't as good as shit. And you've lost 3 times or 2 times, Mahomes. So
who would you say in basketball is the greatest of all time? Because that's what people want to be, right? They want to be known. They want to leave a legacy. They want to be known as I am the greatest player to ever play this game. Who would you say?
I think LeBron is the greatest player.
Okay, prior to LeBron, who would you have said?
I would say Jordan.
Okay, why would you say Jordan?
At that time, I thought his ability to come up in big moments, big time, his ability to do a lot of things, both offensively, defensively, I thought it was incredibly, at that time, impressive. We had never really seen a team win a championship without dominant bigs, and he was one of the first ones to really do it in an extended period of time. And yes, he won, to go along with all of that, he won multiple championships. Yeah, he won 6 championships.
He won 6
championships. But it wasn't just the rings for me that would put that. Just like LeBron has not won 6 rings. And just like Bill Russell had won 11, I didn't think Jordan's got to catch Bill Russell to win 11, right?
Fair.
I didn't think that. You just kind of knew.
I'm just saying, like you said, because I'm glad you said it wasn't until Michael Jordan that people really started kind of thinking that way. Because I remember when LeBron was first coming out, before when he was first starting to get his rings and stuff, a lot of people were just like, well, is he going to catch up to 6? You know, that was the kind of the talk of the town. Like, is he going to catch up to 6? Is he going to get 6 rings like Michael Jordan did? Is he going to be able to do that? Is he going to be able to do that? And I mean, now it's looking like, I mean, he might maybe grab one more. I don't know if he's going to grab 6, but
Probably.
but that seems to be the, you know, that's the big part about the whole Michael Jordan, LeBron James, you know, who's the greatest of all time. Like, yeah, you can look at stats, but at the end of the day, I feel like everyone's going to look at the rings. Everyone's going to look at how many times could you bring your team, bring your city to a championship. And it's not necessarily, I would say, yes, it's probably like sports media's fault, but I feel like there's an internal drive, and maybe it's a societal thing, but we're all just kind of like, everyone wants to go to Titletown. Everyone wants to be like, hey, I want to get that ring. I want to be a champion. I want to be the best. I want to be seen as the best.
It is. And if we go to the football point of it, as Serda was saying, Patrick Mahomes is the best player he's ever seen, the best quarterback. And if Lamar never wins a championship, he is going to live the Charles Barkley life.
Yeah.
Like, where the conversation is more about what he didn't do as opposed to his greatness. And that's what happens when you don't win a championship. And hell, one might not be enough. Because now Aaron Rodgers has won a championship, and his conversation is more about what he didn't do as opposed to the championship and the thing he did do. Now, he's a little crazy as well, but I would even argue this, and Serda may disagree. There is nothing Lamar should ever hold his head down. Lamar Jackson, I think there's an argument has been
he's a generational quarterback.
He's been far more impactful in the sport than Mahomes has been. I'm just talking about the impact. Like, it was him that has allowed the Jalen Hurts, that's allowed quarterbacks that are thought that can run.
I think that, but
yeah. I do. I think
Mahomes changed defensive coverages. Like, Mahomes changed how defenses started playing football. And
Lamar.
Wait, we're not going to talk about Michael Vick.
Look, no, but I don't think. But still, people didn't. But people tried to force Michael Vick to be a thrower, right? They still tried to do that. A lot of the running he did was on his own. Like, Lamar, to me, Lamar changed the game to where teams were willing to just say, hey, man, we're not going to try to force your ass to be a pocket passer. We're going to run an offense that gives your strength, includes you running, like not just scrambles, but called running plays. And I think his success, I understand you're saying about changing defenses, but I think Lamar Jackson's success and what teams have been able to see what you can do when you let a quarterback play the way his skill set is, I think he's ushered in new quarterbacks. Like, I think he's ushered in a new style of quarterback. Like, I don't know if Kyler Murray gets drafted if Lamar Jackson is a play at that level. Jalen Hurts. I like it's almost like the Steph Curry effect of, hey man, this dude came in there and kind of changed the game when it came to shooting threes and what you do there. I think Lamar has kind of changed the game. His impact is huge right now. There are teams that are willing to do that now with quarterbacks. They didn't do before, but that won't be what is talked about if he doesn't win a championship. And let's be honest.
Never won. Yeah.
And the odds and that is something that it didn't used to be. It did not used to be that way. Like, we don't talk about King Griffey Jr. because King Griffey Jr. only won 2 playoff series and he never made it to the World Series in 22 years. No, man, we talk about that was the coolest dude. That was the dude that, like, that's not his legacy. But if he played right now,
but I'm just saying, I feel legacy. Like you can't blame it. I mean, I feel like you can't blame it all on sports media, man. Like,
I'm not blaming it all on sports media. I think sports media and fans take up a big chunk of it.
But I feel like there's also an internal drive that's not necessarily set by sports media or fandom that comes from these players, and it comes from years of watching the Charles Barkleys of the world. Do you want to be like Charles Barkley? Or do you want to be like Michael Jordan?
Yeah, but where did that come from? That came from the feeling.
It came from like just watching them, seeing them over the years, seeing who has a jump man, seeing who's Barkley's kind of went under. It just comes from just like watching life and being like, okay, bet. Like I'd much rather be known as top dog rather than just like, oh yeah, he's good, but he's not top dog.
Yeah, I don't want to live the life of being made fun of all the time because I was just great and I didn't win.
By the way, did you see that blimp of Charles Barkley in San Antonio?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay, I'll send it to you after the show. It's really funny.
No,
they said he was hunting for tortas.
Of course he was. And churros. Those big women. Take us home, Osita.
All right, guys. Well, speaking of stories about how you can search for greatness, but just might not be able to get there, or maybe you could. I was in high school and I was in love with the French girl.